Combat sports are greatly associated with a high level of unpredictability. This exposes fighters to adversities that only few are able to recover from. In the history of combat sports, these 10 fighters have been able to bounce back from rough skids and return back to the octagon to dominate. These singular acts separate the fighters at the top of the divisional ladder from those that keep on struggling at the bottom. So how were these fighters able to stay focused and overcome? Let's find out. Number 10, ANDREI ARLOVSKI vs Junior Albany, UFC Fight Night 120. ANDREI ARLOVSKI is one fighter that most people had given up on several times, but the Pitbull has a way of always bouncing back. Things got so bad for Arlovsky that he was on a shocking 4-fight losing streak. Arlovsky's devastating loss began in title contention. After staying off the octagon for a long period of time, Arlovsky returned in 2014 to reel off 4 consecutive wins. This took him to the number 10 spot. Not too long after this win, a knockout loss to Stipe Miocic derailed him. This was followed by more losses to fellow veterans Alistair Overeem and Josh Barnett. Further losses to then prospects Francis Ngannou and Marcin Tybura followed.
Live and in color!
And it appeared that the Belarusian fighter was on a downward spiral. However, he surprised the world by breaking out once again. Aldo also won his recent fight against Stefan Struve. If you're enjoying this content and want to see more videos like this, drop a comment and subscribe to our channel to never miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Number 9, Dan Hardy vs Duane Ludwig, UFC 146. Dan Hardy started out impressively in Ultimate Fighting Championship by recording 4 consecutive wins. In 2010, Hardy became the first fighter from Britain to fight for a championship belt. The fight didn't go as planned for the Outlaw as he lost to George St. Pierre. Most fans thought it wouldn't be difficult for Hardy to get back on track. Unfortunately, this was far from the truth. Hardy suffered a terrible loss in London in the hands of Carlos Condit. This was the beginning of more losses for Hardy, as he would also lose to Anthony Johnson and Chris Little. Unlike other stars that would have been cut off from the promotion, the Outlaw was retained by the UFC. After a long hiatus, Hardy returned in 2012 to knock out Duane Ludwig with a left hook. Hardy followed up this win with another victory over Amir Sadola. Number 8, Michael Johnson vs Alan Patrick, UFC Vegas 54. Michael Johnson's rough skid began in 2016 after he lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov. The menace went on to lose more bouts to fighters such as Josh Emmett, Stevie Ray and Thiago Moises. Johnson snapped this lengthy losing streak by knocking out Alan Patrick to get back into the limelight after about 4 years. This victory might have even helped save Johnson from getting cut off from the promotion. Number 7, Jim Miller vs Alex White, UFC 228. Miller has gotten very close to getting a lightweight title shot on multiple occasions. His 7-fight win streak between 2009 and 2011 speaks for itself. However, Miller started to decline in 2018 when he amassed a losing streak of 4 fights. The New Jersey native was paired up with Alex White to prove himself. The UFC veteran did not disappoint by taking out White in 1 round. Although he lost his next fight to Charles Oliveira, he's since won 5 more bouts in the octagon. Number 6, Robbie Lawler vs Nick Diaz, UFC 266. The sky looked so bright for Robbie Lawler until Tyron Woodley put an end to his reign in 2016. This dramatic loss was a huge blow to Ruthless, who took a break from the octagon for 1 year. Lawler returned in 2017 to face Donald Cerrone. His comeback was one of a kind and it gave fans the notion that Lawler was back in full capacity. However, that win turned out to be his only win for more than 4 years. Just when most people thought his career was over, Lawler was able to pull off an offset victory against Nick Diaz in a more recent bout. His ability to break such a long losing streak caught the fight community off guard. Number 5, Terrance McKinney. Terrance McKinney debuted into the UFC in 2021 and his performance was epic. He knocked out his opponent Matt Frivola within 7 seconds of the first round. Who would believe that just a few years ago this same fighter was at the verge of death from consuming multiple drugs? After this near-death experience, McKinney left college to earn a living in mixed martial arts. Today, McKinney has a professional record of 11-3. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. McKinney vs Ziam is scheduled for the prelims of UFC Vegas 49 on February 26. Number 4. Louis Smolka. From being a classic fighter, Smolka fell and became a fighter with 4-fight losing streak. The UFC veteran had become addicted to alcohol. Smolka no longer had time to train as his only occupation was drinking. Smolka's losses from 2016 to 2017 had little or no impact on him. Lewis was saved from the menace of drinking by his manager Jason House. After being reprimanded by Jason, the UFC star took a personal decision to quit and has stayed true to his word ever since. Smolka, who recently signed with the UFC as a bantamweight, fought Kyle Estrada at California Extreme Fighting 15 on October 20th, 2022. He extended his winning streak to 3 in a row with a second round TKO. Number 3. Charles Rosa. Charles Rosa was saved from following the path of his brothers by mixed martial arts. 2 of Rosa's brothers died tragically from drug addiction. Rosa checked himself into rehabilitation center in 2008 and began his amateur MMA career in 2010. When he finally started his professional career in 2012, his performance was outstanding. Rosa maintained a whopping 9-fight win streak. His last fight was against Nathaniel Wood at UFC Fight Night on Saturday, July 23, 2022, where he lost to Nathaniel Wood by decision at 5 minutes of round 3 in the featherweight division. Rosa is currently on a 3-fight losing skid. Will he be able to bounce back again soon? Number 2. Court McGee. Besides beating up people in the ring, another one of McGee's priorities is talking to people about the consequences of drug addiction.
I was already drug addicted, so I'm pissed off at the world. Got into the drugs real bad. About 2 years later, I ended up overdosing, on heroin.
For more than 10 years now, McGee has been free from drugs and alcohol. He spoke about his journey from addiction after defeating Ramiz Brahimaj at UFC on ESPN 32. As part of his dedication to helping people overcome addiction, McGee has set up a company called the MCGEE Project, which he is dedicated to spreading his motivational stories and advice to conquer the disease. The 37-year-old has fought professionally since 2010. His last fight was against Jeremiah Wells at UFC Fight Night on Saturday, June 18, 2022. Court McGee lost to Jeremiah Wells by TKO at a minute 34 of round 1 in the welterweight division.
Leaped his way, and there's another.
Number 1. Matt the Immortal Brown. Matt Brown was exposed to drugs at a very young age. He enjoyed drinking and partying excessively. Just like Court McGee, Brown was also saved by his passion for mixed martial arts. The Immortal recently fought Bryan Barberena at UFC Fight Night on Saturday, March 26, 2022. Matt Brown lost to Bryan Barberena by decision at 5 minutes of round 3. Which one of these fighters did you least expect to bounce back? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.